Rachel Ayala, CTV News.
I would like to ask my question, if that's okay.
Yeah.
The
We're
Liberals,
just having a good time here, you know?
I see that. Happy for you. The Liberals' final ad of the election dropped this morning, and a source tells CTV News the aim is to show a more progressive side of Mark Carney in an effort to target NDP and Green swing voters. What do you make of that?
Well, I think that we're seeing more and more people that are worried about Mark Carney's cuts. And so they're trying to hide from that. And Mark Carney can't run from his record. His record is, at a time when people are worried about the housing crisis, he was a chair of a large corporation, a corporate landlord, that profited off the housing crisis. You know, we're in a time when people are looking at Mark Carney's plans, and his plan is to cut massively, $28 billion in cuts, and more that he promised on Monday, even more than that.
Shame.
So people are looking at his plans and saying, wait a second, hold up. That sounds like a bad idea, to cut at a time when we need to defend, to take away from our healthcare when we need to invest in our healthcare. And so people are looking at it and starting to be really worried. So I could see why Mark Carney wants to say, hey, no, actually, I'm actually a progressive. Well, the facts don't lie. And the facts are his plan was to spend $19 billion on a tax cut for mostly millionaires and to cut $28 billion from your services. That is not someone that is a progressive. That is not someone that's defending you and your family. And so Canadians are right to be worried about it. So if you're a New Democrat out there who's worried, thinking who's going to actually defend what I care about, we are. New Democrats are the only ones who are going to defend what you care about.
Carney went to BC right after you left, and he's coming to Winnipeg tonight. How worried are you that he's just playing cleanup and sweeping what seats you may have left?
Well, I want folks to know what's at stake in this election. And Mark Carney has been someone who's got a track record of making lots of money for billionaires. No question about it. But how did he do that? He did that by buying up affordable buildings and kicking out the tenants and jacking up the rent. He's someone that chaired a company which was the biggest tax dodger in Canada. And then as Prime Minister, he showed you his priorities. He spent $19 billion on a tax cut for mostly millionaires and proposed massive cuts to your services. This is not someone that's going to defend the things you care about. So if you care about healthcare and keeping it public and keeping it universal and defending against cuts, vote for New Democrats. If you believe in taking on corporate landlords and defending renters, vote for New Democrats. If you believe in taking on corporate grocery stores and making groceries more affordable, vote New Democrat. If you want someone that's going to fight for all the things that you hold dear, the only ones that are going to hold the line are New Democrats.
Marina von Stackelberg, CBC News.
Hi, Mr. Singh. Do you agree with Pierre Poilievre that it will be a boost to Canada's economy to get rid of the EV mandate and allow consumers to choose when they drive and what they drive?
What's that EV mandate again?
So it's the idea of getting rid of EV mandates so that there's a capability for people to drive whatever vehicle they want to drive. This is part of the Conservative policy.
People can drive whatever vehicle they want to drive. So I think that, not surprisingly, Pierre Poilievre is making up stuff. If he thinks that people can drive whatever car they want, they can. Incentives to support people purchasing an electric vehicle is the right thing to do. To give people the opportunity to purchase vehicles, particularly those made in Canada, as we're proposing. Made in Canada electric vehicles is a great way to support our Canadian industry, as well as supporting folks that want to make the choice to lower their emissions. I think that's a strong option for people, and having incentives to do that is a good idea.
We're talking about the $20,000 Liberal tax on gas vehicles.
I was referring to the EV mandate 2035 to try and get all electric vehicles, new vehicles. Wait, did you understand? You got the question, eh?
Oh, right.
Okay.
I see.
Yeah,
I mean,
I wasn't clear, so I'll
Yeah.
hope that's not my follow-up question. But just for clarity, it's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
idea of that we would move completely to EV by 2035.
Well, I think a lot of manufacturing companies are moving in that direction anyways, and so we want to move in that direction where we're supporting having vehicles that are less emissions, are easier for people to afford. Ultimately, we want to make it easier and cheaper for people to get those vehicles, and ultimately having cars that pollute less, emit less is a good thing. So yeah, we think that's a good idea.